Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 38, How to Pitch with Confidence with Herman Chow. Chow likes to keep things sweet and short, and he is telling us that he is a portrait photographer based in the Netherlands. I want to also add that he is an amazing motivator, a fantastic TEDx speaker that has really blown my mind. And I won't do too much of the talking today. Chow is going to tell us all about his amazing mission and business. Welcome, Chow. Such a pleasure and an honor to have you today with us.
Thank you, Roxana. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you and your audience.
Chow, can you please start by telling us, how did you start your great business as a portrait photographer? What drove you?
I actually started as a hobbyist because at that time I had a 9-to-5 office job, working from Monday to Friday. And then in the weekends, I would do a lot of fashion photo shoots with models, with makeup artists and wardrobe stylists for quite a number of years. And then about 6 years ago, I had a very serious burnout. I got into depression. It was almost suicidal. But at that time, I didn't know what to do. So I went to see the psychologist, I went to see the company's doctor, and at the same time, I found a very established photographer online. And she emphasized a lot on printed photographs. I like her work a lot. It really resonates with me. And when she talked about the power of printed photographs, she focused on that. That really was an aha moment, a wake-up call. Okay, I didn't have a lot of photographs with my father who died many years ago. And that made me make a decision to fire my boss and start my own photography business, specializing on portraits, because I want every woman to have a beautiful portrait of herself, because she and they deserve one, just like yourself. Every woman deserves a beautiful portrait, period. And that's it. So that's how it started.
Love it. I didn't know you had such a tough start, meaning that you had this burnout. And it's wonderful that you rose from it and you created something that's really helping people express themselves. I have been seeing many of your posts, as we discussed earlier, and they are very motivational and inspirational. And you mentioned self-love in today's post on Instagram. Can you please tell us what is the advice that you give to your clients, especially to women, about this self-love?
First of all, I think a lot of women, through my experience over the number of years working with people, especially women, even outside photography, I feel that women are very critical about themselves. They really are their worst critic. They don't like this about the physical appearance. They don't like that. And somehow, I don't think that's healthy, because I was once like this. I don't like my eyes. I don't like my body because I was fat and chubby. And I started to realize that we have to start accepting who we are first, day and night. We have to accept our body weight, our height, our age, till the day we die. Once we cultivate this self-love, then we can conquer the world. That's so important. That's very basic. Because if I ask you a question, Rosanna, who do you love most in your life? I think you will say, maybe, I don't know, do you have a kid or children or partner? Maybe you will say their names, but you won't say yourself. So this is how people react. And people do not love themselves, and people do not have a very strong relationship with themselves. And that is why self-love is so critical, is so important.
What would you say that the first step to self-love is, because indeed, I agree fully, it all starts from us, from how we see ourselves. What would be the very first thing to do to start loving ourselves?
Just tell yourself you are an amazing person. Just accept that fact that you are amazing and not have this messy, lousy, or whatever thoughts that come into your mind telling you that you're not good enough. You have to accept the fact that you are born amazing, phenomenal. Believe in that. That is a belief that you have to ingrain in here. That's it.
Would you say that affirmations help on a daily basis?
It does help, but not everybody believes in that. But it is one of the things that you can do, like mantra, meditation, affirmations. That really helps. Because the more you tell yourself that, okay, I can do this, or for example, I am a phenomenal person. If you say this every day into the mirror, every day, consistently, your energy will start to shift. Whether you believe it or not at the beginning, it doesn't matter. Just say it and feel it. Some people just give up after 2 weeks and say, oh, it doesn't work. That's because you're not consistent. People start blaming on things because they are impatient. So sometimes it takes a year or 2 years for you to change the energy, but you have to do it consistently and be patient with yourself. Because Rome was not built within 24 hours, or even the Great Wall of China. We have so much baggage in our body, in our past life, from our childhood. That's why we become who we are today, and we don't believe in ourselves. So it takes time. All these things accumulated to who you are today. So when you do affirmations, you have to be very, very patient with yourself. Be open to any possibilities. All right? Love yourself first. Accept yourself, who you are.
I love this advice. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, because I know that you are doing many, some are very funny posts saying what not to ask a photographer. Don't ask them to make you look slimmer in your photos. Just accept yourself, embrace your body. And indeed, we women tend to be very critical. I used to be extremely critical with myself. I would never say this out loud to anyone, but I would beat myself up for not looking in a certain way. I guess it's how the human mind works. However, luckily, when people come to see you, they get a very great reminder that, okay, your essence is not necessarily in your looks. You are so much more than that. And I wanted to ask you, you had this amazing TEDx talk that was very inspiring, mind-blowing. I would say that it has shifted me in many ways. How I saw my family until then, how magical photos are, especially portraits, how important it is to keep and to create memories with your loved ones. You are talking about love and the impact that pictures have on us. What got you to start building this TEDx talk? How did it all start?
Before I start talking about the content, I want to emphasize I'm talking about the power of printed photographs, not digital photographs. It's printed. You have to print your photographs. That's the power. All right. That's about my TEDx talk. I talked about in 2019, 2 years ago. Was it 3 years or 2 years? Doesn't matter. So
I was watching YouTube videos quite a lot on TEDx speakers a few years ago, and I really admire these people. And I told myself, wouldn't it be nice for me to present myself on stage one day to share my story? But I wasn't confident about myself. I said, who am I to stand on stage? These people are amazing, but I'm just a mosquito. But I just give it a try. I didn't care. I just gave it a try. I wrote a post on Facebook. I threw it out into the universe, and I wrote, I'm going to speak on TEDx. I can't remember if I put the year on it. A few months later, I saw an advertisement from TEDx on Facebook looking for speakers to come to an audition. So I said, oh, wow. So universe has given me a sign. So I applied for it. I went to the audition and the rest is history.
Wow. I mean, talk about the universe working in your favor. And indeed, this was an amazing talk about printed photography. Yes, have it in front of you. And I wanted to ask you about pitching with confidence, Chow, because this is our main topic for today. How does one get to pitch with confidence?
Wow, that's a skill that all of us have to learn. When you say to yourself that you are not confident to give a presentation, you have to ask yourself, what are you not confident about? I want you to find the root cause. Are you not confident, or are you scared of people judging you? Or are you not confident of how to write a script? So you have to ask yourself, you have to dig into the root cause. And then from there, you can find a solution. But of course, there are many tips on how you can raise your confidence during presentation, because I think whether you're working for a company or whether you have a business, we have to present ourselves online or even to your customers. So presenting ourselves is very important, and we have to learn the skill of that. I've noticed also through my experience that a lot of people just say things or just present themselves for the sake of presenting. They don't care about the energy that they give out. They don't focus much on the tonation of their voice, how they present their words. These are all important things, because if your energy is low during presentation, your audience can feel it and it makes them so bored. They can fall asleep. So one of the tips I'm going to give you, you have to raise your vibrational frequency. Raise your frequency. I think the next question would be to ask me, how can I raise my frequency? Right?
Please tell us, Chow. This is a great masterclass and a mastermind on how to pitch with confidence. So please share with us everything that you're comfortable.
Okay, so I'm sure that before you go to a presentation, you have to practice at home, right? You practice to memorize, remember your script. And in general, we will just practice in our maybe house clothing, our pajamas. That's really low frequency. Why don't you go to a shopping center and buy new clothes, put it on, and imagine, visualize that you are already that speaker standing on stage, and start to practice it. Put on some makeup if you're a lady, groom yourself, visualize that you are really presenting on that day. That will raise your frequency. Some of you might say, oh, that's a lot of work. Well, that makes a difference between a boring speaker or an amazing speaker. It's up to you. It's a choice that you have to make. You want to blend into the crowd, like what others are doing, giving a boring presentation, or you just want to stand out. The choice is up to you.
I love this. I'm a speaker, and every time I prepare, I put in 101% of the energy, because you're right. Our job as speakers is to serve, to use communication, to teach our audience something. But if you're not there with them, 100% present, it's not going to happen. You're just sitting there and waiting for people to get on their phones, because it's just a normal tendency if you're not engaged. I love this. And you don't necessarily need to be a speaker to be fully engaged and energetic when you present something. Maybe you have an important meeting, or maybe people that are at their jobs, they simply need to have their ideas shared with the group, or if they're a manager. It's important to be all in, to be present.
It's true. I mean, when you're standing there, another thing to take note of is how you project your voice. That's also very important. You know, when you are having a script or you memorize a script, there are certain parts or paragraph in your script that you have to emphasize a little more, put more focus. And when you put more focus, you raise your voice a little, you catch their attention, and not just one monotonous tone up throughout the whole session. That's very boring. Unless you're telling a story that is really depressing, you know, that's another thing that you can work on. But in general, work on your voice, how you project it, how you throw your voice out, different tonations. That is important.
What would you advise to someone that would like to be a TEDx speaker, but they are so afraid that other people would judge them, or that maybe other people will laugh at them? Some of the most frequent worries and fears that people have when they want to be speakers. How would you advise them to look beyond the fear of speaking in public?
That comes down to what we talked about at the beginning of this conversation about self-love. How much worth do you see yourself? Why do we care about how people look at us? If we focus on giving value to your audience, your fear will go away. Again, I have to go back to looking for your root cause. What are you scared of? If you think that you're scared of how people judge you, that's just your thoughts, your mind. Is that justifiable? Is it true that people will judge you? Maybe there are people judging you. So what? Will you die? I always ask myself this question if I'm scared to do something. Will I die from doing it? So if you are someone who has illnesses or maybe a heart patient, maybe you will die from doing that, then I advise you not to do that. But in general, you won't die giving a presentation. So why not just do it? So that is also one of the ways to raise your confidence. Take action, do it. Once you do it, your energy will shift. And then the adrenaline kicks in. You say, oh, wow, that was great. I want to do it again. That's how it works. So if there is no proof that people will judge you or whatever, or if there is, you just tell yourself, I'm just here to deliver a pitch to my potential audience. I'm going to help them with what I've got with my services and products. That's it. Focus on the audience instead of focusing on how you deliver the pitch. Your fear will be removed, will go away.
I love this. Thank you for saying this, because coming from a TEDx speaker, our fearless friends are going to enjoy putting their focus on the audience, not on themselves. If you speak in front of people, you are just a messenger delivering the value that people need. I love this. I'm very excited that you use this question, will I die? Obviously, you are not going to die. Nothing is going to happen. However, but at the end, the relief and the amazing feeling of proud that you get, such strong, wonderful feeling of, okay, I did this. I am really strong. I'm powerful. I can do so much more. I know that when I lived in Antwerp, I did some live sessions outside in speaking in front of people in the city center just to conquer this fear in 2019. And at the end, I felt amazing. It was only a few minutes of me talking. My husband was recording me on the phone, and I was incredibly proud of myself, as if I have conquered an entire continent. And that helped with my self-worth, with my confidence as well.
Yeah, it's true, because when you want to give a presentation, your purpose is not to be scared. Your purpose is to give the presentation to your audience. And the example I gave you, asking yourself, will you die? It may sound a bit extreme. Just for example, if you have to do a bungee jump, I won't do a bungee jump because I'm a heart patient. I don't want to take that risk, even though how confident I am. So I won't do that bungee jump. But you know, this is just an example. Ask that question, will you die?
Definitely. People are not going to throw any arrows at you for speaking in front of them. But on the contrary, they will thank you for telling them something new, for helping them, for making their lives better, definitely, as you did through your TEDx. I'm going to
because they,
that one more time, the TEDx talk that you gave.
yeah, the TEDx talk was a very memorable experience.
What would you say that inspires you the most?
From the talk or?
In life.
What inspires me the most? That I can do things, I have the freedom to do the things that I love. That really inspires me most. One of the things would be photographing women and giving them that portrait that they deserve. Especially when they have their makeup done, their hair done, they turn around and look into the mirror and see tears. Those are real tears. That is inspiration. You know what I mean? Because they don't fake the tears. And then they realize, wow, I can look so much beautiful, more confident, more empowered when I just put on nice clothes, have my hair done, makeup. I just look like a powerful woman. That makes a difference. That really inspires me.
That is emotional because I remember feeling like this a few years ago, and I had some photographs taken. And can you please share with us, what is your take on natural versus makeup? How do you see this antithesis?
Okay, I hear this also very often. From all the people I've worked with, apart from fashion models, most women want to look natural in the photographs, which I can totally understand. But a lot of women do not understand about makeup. You can still look natural with makeup on. You have to find the right photographer to do the right natural makeup on you. But bear in mind that when you do a photo shoot, you have all the studio lights hitting on you. So the makeup that the makeup artist will apply for you, even though it's a natural makeup, will be a little more than you normally apply on a day-to-day basis at home. And this is something I have to warn them or tell them during consultation so that they are aware of a little more power. But in the photographs, it looks natural because of the studio lights. You need that little more powder on the face. So when you say, I want to look natural, have an understanding of how makeup works first before, giving all the kind of misinterpretations of how natural photography should look or should not look. Because if you don't understand makeup, then try to understand that from the makeup artist's point of view and from the photographer's point of view. You can still look natural with the right makeup. You just need the right person to do it.
I didn't know this. It's intuitive because the camera kind of takes a few extra layers off naturally. And if I may, Chow, since you are working with many models and you know a lot about makeup and looks, can you please tell me if my makeup is on point for today?
Well, I don't know much about makeup. It's not my expertise. But you look great. You look natural.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Does it look natural? Okay.
You look natural. I mean, if you are going for a photo shoot that is like a diva kind of look for your personal brand, then that's a different story. We're going to make you look extremely different with your makeup. But in general, for business photography, business photo shoots, usually they start from a natural makeup, and then the second look, we will add a little more color to the lipstick, a little more eyeshadow to make the things pop a little. After all, you need to stand out from the competition. That's what I always say. Okay, you come to a photographer for a reason, to give you something that you do not expect. Okay, it's like you hire a garden designer. You want something that you don't expect. If you want something that you expect, you can do it yourself. You don't need a professional. You don't need an expertise. Just do it yourself. I'm very direct. I live in the Netherlands. I'm direct to the point. Whether you like it or not, that's me, okay?
This is great advice. Ladies, take note of Chow's advice when it comes to using colors, because we really do want to stand out.
Mhm.
We do want to have our own unique way of expressing ourselves, definitely. And
go and look for makeup artists who can help you with that. Try different makeup artists, or you can go to Google and search for natural makeup look, print it out and show to your makeup artist. Can you do something similar? And then they will give advice for you.
wonderful. This is really great advice. Ladies, take note once again of Chow's advice. I was asking you about this, Chow, because I'm really passionate about makeup. I have in the bathroom all sorts of powders and lipsticks, and I love to play around and see which color, which look fits me best, depending on my mood as well. And I sometimes don't need to have any events or anything happening for me to put makeup on. If it makes me feel good, I do it, I wear it, I play with it. Definitely. No rules at all.
Do you agree that having makeup on you, it raises your frequency as well, your energy shift?
Yes.
It does, right?
Yes.
It does. So this is all about, putting yourself forward in your best version. You take care of yourself. So I would advise, even though it's not a question that you asked me, if you go for a photo shoot, I would strongly advise that you have makeup done and your hair done.
This was
go to
a question I wanted to ask you, so thank you.
I can read your mind. Don't go to a photo shoot without makeup, because I tell you why. Many of us do not have very smooth skin texture. So when you're in the photo studio with all the studio lights hitting on you, your blemishes or open pores will be amplified, which you want to avoid. So with makeup, they can camouflage the blemishes a little and put some powder and take away all the shine on your face. And that makes you look more natural. It flatters you on the photograph. So be open to trying out makeup in your photo shoots. Again, it's standing out from the competition. Otherwise, you can just go to a shop and take a passport photo without makeup. That's what you want.
Definitely. And Chow, before you tell us more about how you do a photo shooting, because I saw your behind the scenes, you have so much fun that I want to be there. You are making
Come over.
jealous that I'm not there enjoying myself with you. Before we go into this, can you please tell us if you also advise men to use some foundation or some powder on, because due to aesthetic reasons, maybe blemishes, men also have blemishes, or they have maybe reddish skin or oily skin. What is your take on makeup on men?
Okay, so let me answer the question on the men first before I answer the other question on how the process works. For men, usually I would not encourage makeup because a lot of men don't like makeup to be done on that. That's okay. So Sometimes I have powder in my studio. I will just apply some powder just to take away the shine on the forehead and the cheek. If they have blemishes, I will take them away on Photoshop. But in general, I don't put makeup on men. But if they want to hire my makeup artist for makeup, it's fine. I mean, you're welcome to do that. So in general, it's okay, men without makeup. So to answer your question about how the process works photographing women, I usually start with a consultation. The consultation is very important for me to get to know who you are, and also for you to get to know who I am and whether we are a good fit for one another. I want to ask questions about what you're expecting from the photo shoot. I want to ask you why you chose me as a photographer. Why have you reached out to me? There must be a reason. And I'm going to ask you questions about whether my style of work will value your portfolio. So these are things that we need to discuss during consultations. I will also talk about how do you feel if you have makeup done? If you change your hairstyling, how do you feel? How do you feel going shopping, trying something different? Your outfits, a different styling. How do you feel? I want to know all about your feelings about this. Because if you really freak out and you hate yourself to be photographed, then perhaps you are not the right customer for me. But if you're willing to do something about it because you want to excel, you want to perform in your career, your business, you want to be a different person, you're open to opportunities, then this is something we can discuss. I can guide you along. I can give you guidance on the styling ideas as well. Because I work with fashion models in the past, I know about fashion. So sometimes they don't have the budget to hire a wardrobe stylist. I give them the advice what to buy.
Wow.
I even go shopping sometimes if I'm in the mood.
Wow.
So I go shopping with them.
Awesome. This is
Yeah.
awesome, Joe.
So during the consultation, we already broke the ice. You know, we have a laugh, we have a chat. And when they come into the studio, they usually bring 1 or 2 luggages, like going on a bed and breakfast vacation. Oh, these are my clothes. Let's check it out. So we browse through the clothing, we mix and match, and then we talk about the makeup, how they want it to be, the hairstyling. And then they start with the makeup and the hair. After that, they will go to the location where I photograph them, and I will guide them how they pose, how I bring their personality out, because that's also important. And most importantly, I want them to have fun. I always tell them, have fun. It is just a photo shoot. If the photos are not nice, I just delete it. We just retake. We take the ones that are good. That's it. Have fun, because this is your me time. Because the photo shoot with me is like half a day photo session. It is really your me time, enjoying your moment, your empowering moment, for us to pamper you and to give you photographs that you love and you cherish for the rest of your life, and also together with your loved ones. Even though if it's a business photographs, I am still photographing who you are. It is also a celebration of who you are. You need to celebrate that every moment in life.
Wow, this is great information. I love this. You put so much focus on fun, being relaxed, enjoying themselves, testing out a new style. I love this. We need to meet, Chow. We need to meet when I'm close. I know that you're not in actual Amsterdam, you are close by. So definitely we need to meet, because trying out new styles is wonderful, and you get to experience new feelings, because I know that when I put something on that's rather different, a different type of dress or pants, or when I do a different makeup, I feel so empowered. It does give you this feeling of, I can rule the world right now.
Yeah, it's like, talking about trying different styles. Again, this is something that scares a lot of people. If I may share my thoughts with you.
Yes.
You see, if let's say you are a dress person, I say, Roxana, okay, you come to a photo shoot. Why don't you try a pair of jeans and just a t-shirt. Maybe you will tell me, no, Chow, that's not me. Now, this is a fixed mindset in your mind. You are not open to opportunities because magic happens on the other side of the river. Trying something different that you normally do not pick from the shop doesn't mean it's not you. It is still your blood, your skin, your eyes, your ears. It's just that you're not used to seeing who you are. So why do you have this fixed mindset? If you want to empower yourself, if you want to stand out, why are you not open to suggestions? I'm not saying that you have to follow my styles. I'm just suggesting something. Try something different and see how it goes. Don't just say, it's not me. I'm not going to wear that pair of jeans. I'm not going to wear that red dress. It's just not me. You are really closing yourself. I tell you that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're so right. I didn't see it like this, but it makes all the sense, Chow.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if I put a red lipstick, oh, it's not me. Immediately they have this objection. I say, hold on, take a step back. Okay, just let me take a photo of you to see whether it looks great or not. And usually, wow, I don't see myself so good in red lipstick. If it doesn't turn out good, okay, we take it away. We mellow down the color. That's it. Try it. Try it. Don't be afraid. That's my advice to you. Will you die? You won't. It's just trying it, my dear friend. Okay?
This is a great lesson, Chow. And I have this feeling that you mainly do the same thing when there's something that maybe scares you. You're just asking yourself, is this going to kill me? Obviously not.
Yeah.
Would you say that this question works in every situation when someone is afraid they can truly conquer their fears by saying this to themselves?
Because like I said earlier, if it really affects your health, let's say certain sports that you can't try because of your health, then I would suggest that you can try. But like giving presentation, going for a cooking competition, climbing Mount Everest, presenting at work to your colleagues, all these, you won't die. But in general, I think it works. Again, it's about trying. Only you can tell whether you will die from trying it. I can't give you that advice. I'm not going to give you that advice. You have to tell it. You have to judge for yourself.
I'm writing things down because this is very inspiring to me. Since I'm usually working with people that have fears in business when making decisions, I learn so much about fear from my guests, from you as well. And I wanted to ask you, Chow, do you enjoy the online photo sessions as much as you do with the live ones?
The online sessions are more challenging for me because I'm not there to really guide you. Okay, you can turn your body, how you place the arms. It's really through communicating. That's very challenging. So if you're in my studio, I can show you how you sit, how you put your bum on the chair. That's easier. But again, it's photography. I love both. But if I'm given a choice of which one to choose, I would prefer the offline, face-to-face, because there's more interactions. Yeah.
It's great that you kind of adapted to a few months where we couldn't do too much. Now that we are kind of going back to normal, Romania has 100% gotten back to how things were before. I guess that the Netherlands are also looking better, right?
Things are picking up and traveling should not be a problem, I suppose. But until then, I am still offering the virtual photo shoot for people who can't travel to the Netherlands, especially when they need photographs for their portfolio and they need my service. If they think I can help that, then they can work with me.
That's wonderful. And I'm going to have your details put in the description of our Spotify podcast, on YouTube, on Instagram as well, because I really love your work. I'm not saying this just to make you happier, because you already know you are amazing. I know that many people have told you this. I enjoy the emphasis you put on the printed photography. I have not yet heard anyone or met any photographer to express this. This is something so unique and so priceless now that I think about the photos that I have since I was a baby girl with my grandparents, with my grandfather that is no longer with us.
You
Wow.
see, I can feel the emotions no longer with you. So people refuse to be photographed with their kids, their loved ones, because they are scared of being photographed. And once these people, their loved ones, leave them, you don't know how much we're going to live on this planet. It's going to be too late. You cannot say, okay, I'm going to do the photo shoot next week, but we don't know what next week will look like. So do it now before something really happens. When something happens, it's usually too late. We can't reproduce the same moments again because that person is no longer here, or maybe you are no longer there. Oh, I'm so sorry I made you cry.
You got me.
It's the fact of life. It is the fact of life.
And I think that it's great to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and to express our feelings.
I can tell you, if I may share something again, if you have young children and you are someone who really refuses to be photographed, you always say, oh no, let's photograph my kids, don't photograph me. And when they grow up, the children grow up, they don't have photographs with their mother or their father. If you have photographs taken with them, every year, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, they look back. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps when I say this. They look back at the photographs, they will feel very grateful and say, oh, mom or father, I'm so grateful that you took time, 10 years ago to have photos taken together. You see, I was just 10 years old, now I'm 20 years old. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. You see how the power of photographs are, especially when you print them out. Do you want to miss that moment of not having photographs with your children or loved ones or your partner? You don't want to miss that moment because you don't know how much longer we can have on this planet.
You are right. You are right. It's okay. I'm going to get you accountable for my makeup. No worries.
Oh my goodness.
No worries. Thank you so
Do
much
it.
for sharing
Do it.
this is beautiful, and I am so grateful to listen to you say this. Now, before I get emotional one more time, let's change the frequency a bit. And Chow, can you please tell us, is there a life motto that you live by?
My life motto is to be happy and healthy. And if there's one advice I can give it to you before we leave this conversation is, if you want to change the world in whatever you do, your services, your products, your business, you first have to change your internal world. Look at yourself internally, self-love, acceptance. Once you get that right, the basic foundation is there, again, you can move forward in life. All right? Change your internal world before you change the external world. That's how it works. Because if you throw out negative energy to the universe is going to throw back the negative energy at you, and you're not going to achieve anything in life.
100% agreeing with you, Chow. And you read my mind with 3 questions. This was the 3rd one. Before we go, Chow, I want to thank you for this inspiring talk. You made me emotional, but I won't keep a grudge because you're just wonderful. I love your great energy. Thank you for the inspiring words, for your great thoughts. And can you please tell us where can our audience get in touch with you? Because I'm convinced everyone will want a portrait photography with you.
Well, my URL is pretty long. I'm sure you will write my URL on the text. So I think for them to check out the text is easier because my URL is pretty long. And sometimes you can't spell my name properly. Is that fine? Is that okay?
100%. People are going to see your IG handle, your LinkedIn, your Facebook as well if they prefer this. Chow, once again, appreciate your amazing energy, your wisdom. Thank you so much for the privilege of being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.